Hello, you guys. Welcome to the channel. This has been the most awaited video of all times because one of the many questions that I get on a daily basis on IG is how to get a job in Dubai. How did you move to Dubai? Even though I think I've made a video about this time I wanted to make it again with all the specific questions that you guys wanted to ask. So I had put a Q&A story on my IG, and so many of y'all asked so many questions. I'll try to reply to all of them, but most of them were very similar, so I'll skip those and cover them all in just one question. But thank you so much for asking so many questions. I get it can be very, very overwhelming because when I was moving, there was no information out there and people were not as helpful. And I'm just going to share my experience. I hope it helps somebody who's planning to move to this country because it is a very, very amazing country and it's land of opportunities. And I will also tell you the bad parts so you know what you're getting into. For all of those who don't know me and are here for the very first time, hi, I'm Gia. I'm 25 years old. I moved to Dubai 5 years back, and today I'm going to tell you guys what do I actually do for a living, because that was one of the most asked questions again, that Gia, what do you do? Most of y'all follow me on IG and think content creation is my only bread and butter, which is not true, guys. I have a full time job. I've always had a full time job. I don't think I want to do content creation full time. I don't think I have the balls for it. And I don't think I have the mental capacity for it. I feel I will get really overwhelmed. I'll get really anxious on the months that I'm not getting any income. I just cannot deal with that. Hopefully, inshallah, one day. But I have a job. I think it gives me a personality. I think it gives so much substance to my life that I like having a job. I really like it. Also, touchwood, I'm in a very creative space, job wise as well. So it works out. To answer your question, what do I do for a living? So I have a full time job. I do social media marketing for a cafe here in Dubai as a full time marketing person for them. I also freelance for a few brands here and there. By freelance, I mean I handle their social media. So I have freelancing, I have a full time job which is handling the marketing for a cafe, and third is content creation. Now, content creation has been very rewarding, I would say, very rewarding, especially if you're in Dubai. The reason I'm not a full time content creator, first, I told you why, and second of all, my audience is very India based, so I'm trying to grow that audience base in Dubai so that I can charge brands much more than what I do right now. Another very highly asked question, how to look for jobs in Dubai. Now, for me, what has worked really well is LinkedIn. I have found almost all my jobs through LinkedIn, and I know it's really difficult. I know it's very exhausting, the rejections, the people ghosting you. I know companies here ghost a lot, they just don't get back to you. What I do on LinkedIn is basically I see the job, I'll apply, then I'll look at who's hiring, connect with them, and then see who's the marketing manager there, or like whoever's in my department or will be in my department, send them a connection thing on LinkedIn, DM them personally, like on LinkedIn, like, listen, how's the company, and I'm really looking for this and I would love to work and this is my experience. Like, have a conversation with them, try to have that. It increases your chances of getting hired because first, you've made a personal connection even though it's just through DMs, and second of all, they notice you very easily, right? Because you applied for the job, you actually reached out to them, so that helps. So yeah, LinkedIn is the best if you have no connection, friends or family in Dubai and want to just purely apply on the basis of merit. Like, people apply on 10 jobs and they're like, oh my god, I'm tired, I applied and I didn't get anything. Do you understand how many times you have to apply? I have applied almost around 100 to 150 places in the start just to get one job, guys. It's like sales. You need to keep pitching yourself over and over and over again to as many people as you can to land on that one job. So it's not very easy. Don't apply to like 10 places and be like, oh my god, I tried and now it's not happening for me. You need to be very resilient. You need to keep applying. Like, it's a do or die situation. At least that's what it was for me because I didn't want to go back to India. Second is Vasta slash references. They tend to work really well in this region, which is so sad because when I came, I had no relations. Like, my dad had been working here for a lot of years. Like, all my life, my dad had been here in Dubai working. But I didn't get any of his references. Like, he did not refer me to anybody. Also, because he was not in the field and I didn't want his references. I was like, I'll do it on my own. And now that I see people getting jobs just based on references, it's so easy. So, if you have a friend, if you have a relative, if you have somebody like your ex colleague working in Dubai, you can actually reach out to them and ask them if they can refer to you in their company if there is any job. Because references sadly do work really well in this region. Guys, also, I think some of y'all are just not very self aware. Like, you just randomly DM, you just randomly text a person, oh my god, can you refer me in your company and do all of that? I don't know you personally. A lot of people don't know you personally. Why would they do that, first of all? Second of all, if you've had like 1 year of experience in India and you're asking to be referred at a job which needs 5 years of experience, look at your CV, analyze, see your skills, and see the job description if it matches or doesn't match. Don't just like you've just gotten freshly out of college and like, okay, can you please refer me? Like, it doesn't work that way. You need to have proven something in your industry to ask somebody for them to refer you, because they also need to have keep up their reputation, right? Another thing with reference, or people thinking that, oh my god, I'll just apply from India and get a job here in Dubai, that happens, but it's not very likely, because companies usually prefer not clients, companies usually prefer candidates who are already based off of Dubai. By that, I don't really mean residents. I mean, that would be amazing if they're already a resident, so they don't have to fly them out and all of that. But in general, for the first timers, also, they need to be in Dubai, because until and unless you're like fucking amazing at your job, you're the best at what you do, and they're not gonna fly you out to Dubai for a job. They're not going to do that. Especially in marketing, I've not seen that very often. Banking, yes, very much so, because it's a skill based job and Indians do happen to be very intelligent, and like banks want intelligent people at a cheaper rate, so they fly a lot of Indians out. But for jobs like marketing, like creative industry, until and unless you're fucking amazing at your job, nobody's gonna fly you out and give you a visa and ask you to stay in a hotel till you find. Nobody does that. It doesn't happen for everyone. You need to be here in Dubai. Okay, so now this is an amazing segue to how did I get my job in Dubai, right? As I told you guys, my dad was always living here in Dubai, and I had come here on a vacation right after my college. It was like a 2 month vacation, which I was like getting really bored in, and I was like, I don't want to be in Dubai. I want to go to Australia, and I'd gotten my offer letter from University of Adelaide, and I was going to move to Australia fully. All of that was going to happen. When I came, I was getting bored here, because I'm like, okay, I've seen Dubai, because I've been coming to Dubai since I was a child. So I just went on LinkedIn and started applying. Mind you, my CV was a joke. It was a joke. I was just applying for internships, whichever internship I get, because I was like free at home. I landed my first ever internship. Now, that internship wasn't very great. I was only getting paid 500 dirhams, which was in Business Bay, and I used to like my travel money was also more than 500 dirhams. But good thing for me is, as I said, you need to be in Dubai. So I was in Dubai. That internship was for 3 months, but I was applying for jobs while I was on that internship. I've always been a hustler. I don't know what to say. Like, I met my very first best friend of Dubai, Jamila, also at that internship. And she used to be shocked. She's like, Jia, you're on this internship. You're not. Because there was barely any work. And I'm just sitting and chilling. So I was just applying on jobs saying, oh, now I have internship in Dubai. So I added that on my CV and I started applying for jobs. And I landed my first ever job also. So this is what you need to do. First of all, you need to be a hustler if you are in Dubai, because this city will eat you up. The competition is insane. There's always somebody who's willing to work for cheaper rates, and you need to be very skilled. You need to be very creative. You need to have amazing talking skills. You need to know how to sell yourself, because you will have to sell yourself everywhere, not in a bad way, but just like telling people, oh, I'm good at this, oh, I'm amazing at this, oh, I can negotiate for salary, oh, I can do this, oh, I'm amazing, like I dressed really well. Like, in general, you need to sell yourself. It's a very good skill to have, and it's a must have skill if you're in Dubai. I hope I'm actually helping you guys with all of these answers. I'm just telling you my experience. So, okay, let's go to the next question. Which sector do you work in? I work in the marketing sector and I really, really enjoy it. How did you get started with content creation? Okay, that's a good question. I don't know if it's related to the job in UAE, but it's a good question because I started my content creation here in Dubai. So, I personally believe for content creation, you need to be consistent. And in order to be consistent, you need to remove all the pain points that is stopping you from being consistent. Like for me, it was I had a 9 to 5. I had to cook, I had to do my laundry, I had like full on responsibility of an adult, but I wanted to create content. So what I did, I actually did not put so much thought to it back then, but now that I'm thinking, it was amazing and very practical. So what I did was I used to love getting ready. I still do. I just love getting ready. So in the morning I would get ready for work and I would just take my camera and shoot that. And on my way back from work, which was a 1 hour commute, I would edit that whatever I shot in the morning and post it. So I was coming back from work around 7 or like 6 or 7ish, and I would post around 7:30 almost every day. And before I knew it, I blew up, and then I started getting followers, and I was like, this is crazy. Like I didn't have to put an extra effort of like taking time out of my day, sitting down, shooting, none of that. I kept it very simple, very raw, very organic. For people who've been following me for a while, you guys would remember that bathroom with the little pot in my background. That's where I used to shoot because I would get ready in my bathroom. I didn't even care about an aesthetic background. I was just like, I want to just shoot what I'm actually doing, which was getting ready in my bathroom. It is what it is. I think people who overthink their start कि ऐसे करेंगे, we should do this, oh my god, the background needs to be perfect, my makeup needs to be perfect, my I need to have the mic, I need to have the equipment. None of that, guys. DJI I bought with my content creation money. I bought my first tripod with my content creation money. All I had was a phone and this like little sticky thing. And I used to borrow mics from my office. So I was working in a production agency and I used to borrow mics for the weekend. I used to ask my production manager, can I please take the mics? And I would take it. That's how I think everybody should start. You should, if you have a phone with you, just start. Start shooting, start sharing what your thoughts are, how you like to dress, or whatever you want to share. Actually, you, it's an open platform. Even if you have some really good knowledge on a certain topic, share that. Be yourself. When I say be yourself, what is something unique, that the information you have from your life experiences that you want to share? Do that. Now, talking videos are a little tricky because you need a certain amount of confidence, you need a certain amount of camera friendliness to be able to do that. But just like every other skill, it can be developed if you just keep doing it over and over again. You think if I look at my content from those days, I would not cringe. I'm still in shock that I shot half my content with a pot in my background. It is so, there was one brand who reached out because back in the day, I used to get like 500k views, 1 million views, and like crazy amount of views. Okay, people used to love watching those. When brands used to reach out, they're like, okay, we love it, we want to collaborate, but we don't want that pot in the background. And I was like, I don't know how to remove it. This is my reality. This is where I live. This is where I shoot. Like, also, I don't have time to sit and make a background and this and that. I have a full time job. People will connect with you if you just stay true to yourself and yeah, just start. Did you have any experience in marketing, PR, social media, or content before you started? Okay, amazing question. I did my Bachelor's of Management Studies specialized in marketing from HR College in Bombay. I did do a lot of internships. So in my college, I was always interning. I interned at Sheen as a campus ambassador for my college. I interned at Geo Studios, Snackable. So I was always doing an internship throughout my college days. Even though my college was during lockdown days, I was doing online internships. And also, mind you, all of these were unpaid. These were all unpaid internships. But I feel they really helped me, first of all, make connections, understand how to conduct myself, and they looked amazing on my CV that I was just not chilling in my college, I was actually doing something. And then I landed my first ever job in Bombay itself. It was again during lockdown. It was very much work from home, but I handled really good brands like there was this brand called Moonshine or whatever. It's by the daughter of Jade, by MK's founder. Handled that initially when it started for like a little while, and then I just came to Dubai, as I said. So I had a full-time job experience of like 2 months and a lot of internship experience when I came to Dubai. I did take a course here in Dubai from Astro Labs. I don't know if it's open now because I went to Al Quoz the other day and I saw the institution wasn't there anymore, so that's weird. I did a digital marketing course, Astrolabs in Dubai, and it costed me 5 grand, guys. 5,000 dirhams. It's still a big amount till date. And that time I did 5,000 dirham ka course for 1 month, and of course my parents paid for this. But I found this course and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Pretty useless, I must say, but it gave me a purpose to go out in Dubai and learn something which I always love learning. And another thing to add on my CV. If you're watching this and you're in college, do as many internships as you can. Doesn't matter paid, unpaid, just do it, you know. It's amazing to get that experience initially. Just learn as much as you can. How do you balance your full-time job with content creation? Guys, I don't. Most of the times I'm failing, I feel. It just comes naturally now that I have the experience of 5 years of juggling between content creation, full-time job, freelancing, living alone, new country, new people. It just came with experience. So first year of me in Dubai, I absolutely hated it. I wasn't even doing content creation back then, but just having a job, I hated having a job because it was so toxic. Another thing about Dubai work cultures can get really, really toxic. I hope if you find a job, it's at very nice and good place, because a toxic work culture will fuck you up. It did fuck me up. I have cried so much. You don't understand how much I've cried. I had moved out of my dad's place. I was living alone. It feels like all the bad memories of your past, your brain just blocks them so that you can protect yourself. But I remember it was very, very difficult. I always knew how to cook because my nanny had taught me, so thank God I had that skill. But just juggling cooking every day, and then I just wouldn't eat most of the times, then dealing with job, and it was just really bad, paying rent and then doing laundry. I was like falling apart. It was very, very difficult. Slowly, I think I got a hang of it. I figured out how to be by myself. I learned how to be alone. After first year, when I was like 21, 22, I was like, what am I doing with my life? It is so shit. All I do is go to work, come back, cook, do laundry, or change my bed sheet, and then sleep. And I'm exhausted on the weekend, so I don't go out at all. Like, what is this life? It was really bad. It was extremely bad. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And I could see the stories of my friends from college being in London, Australia, because they were doing their masters and having the time of their life, partying, clubbing. And I was like, what am I doing? Why am I working for this peanuts paying job? So, you know what I did? I started going out alone. Even if it meant going and grabbing a coffee, even if it meant I got like a concert ticket on discount, even if it meant like going out cycling at the kite beach, I started doing all of it. Like on a weekend, I would force myself to go out because I knew if I didn't go out, I'll be wasting my 20s. I don't want to remember my 20s as all I did was go to work, come back, cook, and sleep. I'm not like a housewife, you know. I don't want to do that. No offense to being a housewife. It's an amazing job. It's a very tiring job. But I wanted more out of life, so I started doing that. I made friends at work. Not all of them were nice, but few of them were really nice, and they're still friends with me, and I'm still friends with them, and they stuck by. So you find your people, you just keep doing it imperfectly, गिरते पढ़ते सीख जाते हैं, लाइफ सिखा देती है. How much do you roughly earn from content creation monthly? I am not very comfortable discussing my income or how much do I make from whichever stream of income. I'm just not comfortable discussing my numbers out here on the internet. But I would say content creation pays well, but it's very, as I said, some months you will make amazing money, some months you won't. That's why I don't think this can be a full-time career for me right now. The thing is, it depends on the followers, it depends on your engagement. It's very subjective, yeah, but you can make good money if you are just consistent and you know how to negotiate. What salary range does your full-time role typically offer? Guys, how are you just asking people's salary and how much money do you make? I don't think I'll ever be comfortable asking that. And I don't think I'll ever be comfortable sharing that either. Like, kudos to people who do that. I personally am not. Even my mother doesn't know how much I make. I just don't like to share that number in general. I think it's extremely disrespectful to ask somebody, oh, how much do you make? But initially, when I started, I'll tell you that salary. I landed my first ever job. After, like, my internship paid me 500 dirhams. My first ever job, the starting salary was 5,000 dirhams. So if that helps. You went on your own, or you had somebody in your family there and then you found a job? I had my dad here, which was a big help, not in terms of finding a job, but finding a footing in terms of, like, I had a place to stay, I had my basics, like I had my basic needs covered. Do we need to secure a visa or PR first, then move to Dubai and then look for a job? What's the process? I know a friend who is working in a bank, Emirates NBD, and she was flown down to Dubai by her company. The visa was already done before she came. They gave her the flight tickets, they a hotel to stay till she finds a accommodation and all of that. But also she's had 8 years of experience in India, and that's why they flew her out, and there was a reference. So those perks were given to her because of her merit, you know what I mean? Initially, if you're just starting out, I would recommend coming here on a tourist visa, staying with a relative if you have any, or maybe a friend, or just getting an Airbnb and staying for 3 months, doing all the expenses, and just applying aggressively on LinkedIn, making connections. Once you have landed a job, they will give you a work visa, which is mostly 2 years, and it renews every 2 years if you're continuing your work there or anywhere else, and that company will sponsor that visa for you. Or you can also just get a freelance visa, that is also an option. I have not gotten that, but you can come on a freelance visa also. I don't know much about it, but you can research that. It's around 8 to 10,000 dirhams, and it's relatively easy, so you can do that also. What is your skincare, girl? I'm This is not a skincare video. I'll tell you separately. You look so fit. What is your height and weight? I have no comments. Hey, is this the right time to shift to Dubai due to the ongoing war situation? Amazing question. I feel like a teacher. Not gonna lie, we were all really scared during that situation. I know so many of my friends who've lost their jobs during the war. This is the thing with Dubai, there's no job security, and because you don't have job security, your entire life can go upside down, because the only reason you're getting to stay in this country is because of your visa, which is because of your work. And the day you don't have work, you only have 30 days to figure it out in this country or leave. That's why I'm saying it is very, very difficult. It's very high stress, competitive place. So until unless you're not ready for it, don't look at Dubai. But if you are, then you should just know things like these are going to happen. I mean, I still feel Dubai will bounce back, and we're all hoping it bounces back. I would say wait it out for this entire year. Let Dubai bounce back to what it is. Let it revive. Let it thrive again, and then come. But I also feel that if you apply now, you might get a job, because so many people lost their jobs in the last 3 4 months, and companies might be gearing up for the upcoming season, so they might be willing to hire people. It's mixed situation, but if you find a job, why not? So could you please tell some difficulties you faced while moving there? I think I already told most of them. I had a cultural shock, like a big, big cultural shock, because first of all, I had never worked in corporate. I mean, I've never worked in corporate now also, but I had never worked in agencies also, and I didn't know that a 30-year-old manager would be, like, I would have beef with my 30-year-old manager as a 20-year-old, like a 10-year age gap, and she had beef with me. I have no clue why. It can get really toxic. Dubai is very expensive also. Before you know, your money is gone. It is very safe though. I love that. It is very, very safe. Finding friends, I don't think it's a Dubai problem, or maybe it is a Dubai problem, but when you move to a country for work, in the workspace, it's very difficult, because you have KPIs to meet, you have deadlines, you have this. You just end up being bitter towards each other, because everyone is there to, like, finish and go home at 6. Nobody wants to stay. But now I see there's so many communities that people are making, so you can meet and connect with like-minded people. Temperature is a big issue. Summers are disgusting. You cannot step out. It is terrible. The heat is unbearable. If you like outdoor walks, you like doing all of outdoor activities, unfortunately 6 months of the year you won't be able to do it here. So when you are planning to move here, just remember that also, if you're okay with a lifestyle like this. About the visa situation, do all companies sponsor? I mean, yeah, they should if they've given you a job, but I've heard the scams of where people, like, companies are not sponsoring their visas and asking them to get their own, which, how to get your own? You can only get tourist visa, or they're asking them to get a freelance visa, which costs so much. So most of the times Actually, 95% of the times, company is supposed to sponsor your visa. How you got your current job and how much salary can we expect in? Stop asking salary. I'm getting really annoyed. Current job also I got through LinkedIn. How's the master's scene there? Is it safe? And what about PR? PR? I don't think there's a PR here. There's only golden visa, which you can either get by investing a certain amount in the buy if you're a creator, if you're an exceptional student, something like that. How's the master's scene? I don't know. I don't think you should come to Dubai to study. Like, there's better places. Don't waste your money in Dubai. Like, kids of Dubai leave Dubai to go to other places to study. So, why are you coming here? No need. It's really, really expensive. I wouldn't suggest. What exactly do I study? Also, I'm interested in marketing. Should I go for luxury brand management? Sure, I mean, that's great. I don't know what to say to that. Like, I just did a basic bachelor's degree. I think India is very degree centric. Oh my god, you're from IIM. Oh my god, you're from here. Dubai is not like that. I think people value your experience more, communication skills more, creativity more. Qualification is amazing. Everybody should study and get a good degree. But more than that, I think you should develop people skills. Firstly, it's always a fear if we apply for a job in Dubai. Is it a scam? How can we verify it's a genuine company? Wow, I didn't know people were scared of these scams. See, you can always verify, no? Can't you like just check their LinkedIn, see what employees they have, talk to the employees, go on IG, check if they have an IG page, go on Google. Like, there's like it's just a vibe a company gives that they are being genuine. Get the contract. If suppose some companies actually offered you a job, get the contract, ask them to send you a contract like in writing. Get all of those checks before just like, oh, I got a DM on LinkedIn to like they're giving me a job in Dubai, so I'm moving to Dubai. No, have your checks, like do your checks, and once the contract is signed and the contract get it mentioned if they are flying you out or if they want you to fly out, if they reimburse, and make sure in the contract says that they'll give you the visa. Double check all the basics and I think it should be easy then. Okay, this video is already, I feel like, 1 hour long. That's pretty much it. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any other questions ever, just DM me, you know what to do, or like leave them in the comments below, so I'll try to answer those questions as well. I will see you guys next time. Do like, share, subscribe, and follow me on IG as well, because I share a lot of my life in Dubai on IG. And subscribe to this channel also, because I share daily vlogs, not daily vlogs, weekly vlogs on this channel, so you can get an idea of how my life looks like or what my life looks like in Dubai. I will see you guys next time. Bye.